Thanks for joining me here at Thruxton Circuit today. We're here to meet MSP owner Grant Payne of ACT Systems and see his son Kyle Payne competing in the British Talent Cup. Qualifying kicks off in just a few moments. We'll grab some footage of that and then head over to the paddock for a debrief with Grant and Kyle. Let's go take a look.
A gating lane and gate hand on the board. For concert, you two really have got a lot of it.
So Kyle, here we are, Thruxton. You've just done qualifying. Didn't quite go to plan.
Not quite.
Tell us a little bit about what happens.
So basically, the fuel pipe connecting the tank to the engine has a slit in it. And basically, fuel was coming out, just going all over the bike into the belly pan, and my bike just fully lost power after about 2 laps.
So you got 1 lap in though.
Yeah, I did get 1 lap, so I'm not back of the grid. I think there's 2 people behind me.
Right, okay.
Not great, but could be worse.
Absolutely. And the other good news is they've already identified what the problem is and are working to resolve it. So
for sure.
Good chance you'll get out for the race.
I'll get out definitely this afternoon. I don't know whether they're going to change the tank or change the tube. I mean, now they found the problem. The tank isn't the problem, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll have no problem getting out for the race.
Very good. And the final bit of good news is because we've got all of what's the term? Fairings. Because we got all the fairings off. Yeah. We've got a naked bike that you can talk us around,
which you don't normally see.
And I guess let's start off with the frame itself.
Yeah. So the frame is basically just what holds the bike together. Everything is attached to the frame. So it's this part here. I'm pretty sure it's aluminium. You're wrong. Yeah. But it's made to be light because it's such a small bike that if it's too heavy, you just won't be able to move it around, if that makes sense. It doesn't have the power to move around the bike if it was that heavy. And then obviously the engine, a Honda NSF 250R, I believe is the exact model.
Okay.
And well, just like the frame, many other things are attached to the engine. So you've got this is the front sprocket, and this one here is the rear sprocket, which basically determines the gearing of the bike.
Okay.
So, for example, on a track with a longer straight, you want the bike to accelerate for the longest period of time on the straight.
Okay.
Because if the bike runs out of power halfway down the straight, you're going down half the straight with no extra power. Mm-hmm. So if you make the gearing longer, it makes the gears last longer.
Okay.
You'll end up with the same top speed, but it's just more suiting for whichever track that you're riding. What else do we have? Obviously, this is where does it start? The exhaust will start up in here. But the exhaust comes down underneath the bike, and then if you go the other side of the bike, you can see the end of the exhaust. There we go.
See.
That's the end of the exhaust.
Okay. And this is all normally enclosed
under the belly pan. So like this one here, that's the belly pan of the bike. So normally it would be all underneath there, all hidden away. So when you crash, you don't damage all of it.
Very good.
If we stay on this side of the bike, if you zoom in under there, that's the rear shock, so the rear suspension. And the rear suspension is important because when you exit the corner, the bike will squat down, if that makes sense. So when you give it, it's like when you're in a car, when you put your foot on the gas, you go backwards.
Okay, yeah.
And it's the same with the bike, and the bike will go down on the back. And also just to help with bumps as well, especially around this circuit, it's ridiculous. It's so bumpy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we have quite a soft setting. Because compared to my European tracks that I race, they're all nice and smooth. They're meant for MotoGP. And you come around here and it's just rattling your teeth out. It's ridiculous. Fun though. Definitely different.
Absolutely. This is certainly, well, I think it's one of the fastest tracks as well in the UK.
Well, it's the fastest track in the UK.
Yeah.
On average, I'm pretty sure. The top speed wouldn't be the fastest, but on average, definitely. I mean, on this bike, I only brake twice.
Right.
On the whole circuit.
Okay.
You've got the first chicane on the entry you brake, and then into the last triple chicane complex.
Okay.
Apart from that, most corners are either flat out or you just don't brake going into them, you just roll off slightly.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a different style of track.
Okay. And whilst we're looking at the rear shock, I noticed observing from the last corner as you're coming through applying the power, it looks like it was wagging quite a bit. Not necessarily you, but most of the riders were really struggling to get the balance right in terms of.
Yeah, well, because it's such a slow corner.
Yeah.
As soon as you get on the throttle, it's like in a car when the rear slides up. It's the same on a bike.
Yeah.
The movement isn't necessarily them struggling to put the power down, but because this track is so abrasive with the tyres, after about 6 or 7 laps, the tyre's destroyed. So in the end of the corner, the rear is just sliding out. You won't crash, but it's just moving. If that makes sense.
Okay.
It's very abrasive surface.
Right.
I mean, look, these were new tyres, and this is 2 laps, and you can even see here the edge of the tyres already. I mean, this is still brand new, so I haven't used enough of the tyre in those 2 laps for it to be fully destroyed, but even after 2 laps you can already see the wear coming down on the tyre.
So not normally when you are on sort of tilts you'd be wearing away this sort of big edge
so
here.
if you get to here, you've probably learned a bit too far and you'll crash.
Okay.
But you'd be more than this on a general track. Round here you want to keep the bike as upright as possible.
Right.
Because it's so bumpy with the bike laying over, it's so much easier to crash.
Yes.
Especially on these bikes, you can take the corner speed with less lean angle, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's not like the big bikes where you have to take the lean angle to actually be able to get around the corners properly.
Okay.
On this bike, it doesn't really matter what line you take, you can still do the corners that are flat.
Right.
But because all the corners are right, so if you look here, see this is the same tyre, but because all the fast corners are on the right-hand side, this side's hardly worn away.
Right.
And this side's not destroyed, but it's because all the fast corners are on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
You're basically... Well, this track's like a roundabout.
Yes.
So just on the right side of the tyre consecutively, and it just destroys them, basically.
And the face of the tyre here, it almost looks like it's melted.
Yeah, well, that's basically what it's doing. You're just melting the rubber on the tyre as you're going around.
Right.
It gets so hot.
Yeah.
And yeah, effectively, normally on a regular circuit, after about 30 laps, the tyre, you won't be able to do like a proper qualifying lap on the tyre anymore.
Right.
But around here, really, just, I don't know whether it's the surface or just because you're on that side of the tyre going so fast that it just completely wears it away. It just melts the tyre, basically.
And will this tyre have any preparation done before you go out again, or do you just go out and it gets hot and...
Now, so before you go out, you stick them on tyre wallers.
Right.
To keep them hot before I go out, so I have to warm them up on the track.
Okay.
But apart from putting them on tyre wallers, they'll check the tyre pressures to make sure that's all good. But I'll use the same tyres for the race because I've already done 2 laps on these tyres.
Right.
Normally, I'd probably use a new set.
Okay.
For qualifying and for the race. But seeing as I only did 2 laps, the difference between a 2-lap tyre and a new set of tyres, especially seeing as I'm starting at the back of the grid, it's not like I'm fighting for the win where I need the maximum grip possible.
Yep.
And then for the second race, I'll have a new set because your lap time of the first race determines your position for the second.
Okay.
So if I get a good time in the first race, which I undoubtedly will, because of my qualifying, I'll be higher up on the grid.
Right, okay.
So a new tyre will be more useful because I'll be running faster.
Got it. And given the fact you're using the brakes so little, is there an issue there with them being at an appropriate temperature, or do they work sort of regardless?
No, they work regardless.
Okay.
I mean, we say we only use them twice, which is true, but around a circuit that's 1 minute 20, you use the brake. The place where you use the brake is really heavy braking. It's from top speed to practically almost standing still.
Right.
So, and those 2 spots are close together. You've got the last chicane, the last triple corner chicane. You've got a straight left, and then it's immediately braking again.
Right.
So for a span of 30 seconds, the brakes are getting really taut.
Yeah.
So for the last minute of the circuit, they didn't really have enough time to cool down before you put in the brakes again anyway. But, I mean, normally the brakes, temperature on these bikes, you don't really have much of a barometer there.
All right. Very good. So what else should we be looking at whilst we've got unfettered access?
Yeah, well, we have, actually, let's go the other side. This thing here is my quick shifter. So I don't know if, most road bikes might have them, I'm not sure, but normally to change gear, you have to let off the throttle to change the gear.
Okay.
And then put the throttle back.
Okay.
But on this race bike, this basically cuts the engine without me having to release the throttle.
Okay.
So I can sort of go through the gears with the throttle wide open, just ba ba ba, and it'll cut the engine itself basically, rather than me having to let off the throttle.
Got it. Okay. So the same as in a touring car.
I guess so, yeah. Well, it's like with the cars with the paddles, isn't it?
Yes.
It's roughly the same thing as what this does. And then at the front here, well, this is the radiator. What cools the bike. It's not much else to it. Hints in the name. It's called a radiator. It doesn't heat up the bike, that's for sure. This is the steering damper. So it basically makes it easier or harder to turn the bike, and also helps with the bumps as well. Because if you turn it all the way down and the handlebars move freely over the bumps, the bike's just going to be moving everywhere.
Right.
However, if you turn it up, the bumps affect the handling of the bike less.
Okay.
Because the steering is tougher to move, it's harder for the bumps to be moving the bike. If that makes sense on the front.
But you feel more of the bump as a consequence?
What do you mean?
So if the handles aren't moving as much, you hit a bump, it's all coming through your arms basically.
No, not necessarily.
Right.
It doesn't change the suspension.
Right.
It just changes how stiff it is to actually turn the handlebars.
Right.
And basically, if you just turn it all the way down and the handlebars move really easily, as soon as you hit a bump, you're just going to get all that vibration through the handlebars.
Right. Okay.
However, if you turn it up, the bumps have much less effect on the handling of the bike.
Right.
But you don't want to turn it up too hard because then you can't actually turn the bike.
Right.
So you need to find a mix of what suits you. And it's just preference as well.
Right.
Some riders couldn't care less about bumps. Some riders, like me, prefer it to be a bit more comfortable.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what that does.
Okay.
I've got buttons here, a load of buttons. Not really too many buttons, but this one just simply turns on and off the bike. Doesn't start the bike, but it has to be flicked on this way for the bike to be able to start.
Okay.
And now it turns on. I'm pretty sure this is the rain light. The bike doesn't have any. The bike has no power, so that won't do anything anyway. But
Okay.
when it's raining, you have to turn on the rain light.
Okay.
And this one, if you hold it down, is my pit limiter.
Okay.
So basically it limits the bike to 60 kilometers an hour, which is no idea what it is, miles per hour.
Yep.
But that's what the speed limit is.
A safer speed than racing speed.
Right. So you put it into first gear and you hold this down, and the bike will just go bop, 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 bop. It will just stop the bike from going over that speed, basically.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, you're fine. And that's
Okay.
class. Couldn't tell you what that button is. Alex, what's this button?
The map.
To change the mapping on the bike.
Okay.
I don't touch this button.
Great.
It's more for like in testing, if we want to try something different with the bike, then halfway through a session I can just switch on the different map setting, which basically just changes how the engine behaves,
Okay.
how the bike behaves basically. But normally I don't go near that much. It's my lap timer. Doesn't do much more than just show you my lap time. But it's nice to have that, because only having the pit board, if this makes sense, you only see the lap time you've done, the lap after you've done it.
Yes.
Because they can't show you immediately across the line, because I haven't actually crossed the line there.
Yes.
So having that, not that I can look at it for the first 3 or 4 corners anyway, because the line is so close to when I have to brake to turn in.
Yeah.
But when I'm going down a straight or something, it's nice to just be able to see what lap time I did. So yeah.
And we were talking before about how you only really look at this a few points in the lap, because otherwise you are going to be distracted from.
Yeah, so there's two different modes I can put. I don't know whether it'll turn on again. It was being weird earlier, but there we go. So basically, my lap time I can either be rolling, as it says there, I don't know if you can see, or plus minus best. The problem with plus minus best is it constantly says whether you're going faster or slower than your best lap. So if I come out of turn 1 and I'm 0.1 fast, it'll tell me. But the problem with that is you will look at it every corner.
Yeah.
And you'll just end up going slower. So I prefer to have rolling, because if you're trying to work out what time you were at this point of the circuit last time, it's never going to be accurate.
Yeah.
So you might as well just have one look at it as you cross the line, or in this case on this circuit, like turn 5.
Yeah.
And then wait for the next lap, because at the end of the day, you know if you're doing a fast lap or not.
And the final bits we're seeing, this would be for changing gear, those lights?
Yeah, they'll come on, it'll be green, orange, and then they'll all go red when I need to change gear.
Okay.
Um,
And the final display there?
that's just the temperature of the bike.
Right.
So as you see there, it says 65 to 75, which is the optimal temperature of the bike.
Okay.
So if it's below that, I'll come in. If it's above that, I'll come in.
Right.
Normally if it's slightly above, it's all right. If it's within 80 degrees, anything higher than that, then I definitely need to clear it. The bike's running too hot.
Right.
If it's running too cold, normally what they'll do is they'll put tape on the radiator,
Okay.
which will basically stop the bike from cooling down.
From radiating. Yes.
Exactly. It'll stop the air from going in the radiator, and it'll just heat the bike up, basically, which
Okay.
is what you normally do when it's cold.
Okay.
But yeah. And then obviously we've got the front forks. So this is the front suspension. Useful for braking. So
Yes.
when you brake, the bike will go down, and obviously handle all the bumps. And then on the side here is the suspension sensor. So it's practically just like, it's the same functionality as this. It's a mini suspension, so it'll go down when the suspension goes down,
Okay.
but it won't do anything except just take a reading.
Yep.
I don't know if there's much more on the bike. Oh, well, there's probably loads of things that I'm missing, but you know, from what I can see,
That's
we've got the front brake. Find that interesting.
Yes.
Which is this one right here. Ow. Sorry. This one right here is the front brake.
Okay.
I use these two fingers to brake. Most riders use these two, but I always grew up using these two to brake because, well, it's in the middle of the lever. I don't know. To me, it was always easier, and I was stuck with that. Everyone finds it weird, but
Okay.
this here I can use to change the position of the lever. So whether I want it further out or closer in.
Okay.
Because if you can't reach the lever, you have to wind it in, and sometimes when the brakes get hot, they get a bit more, I don't know if you know what I mean, but spongy.
Yes.
So when they get hot, they'll come back more.
Right.
And if they come back too far, then I haven't got enough trouble with the brakes, so I'm going to want to move them forwards. I can't do this when I'm going round on the track, because I never remember which way's out and which way's in. But if I'm in the pit lane, normally before I go out, I'll check them and then move it if I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if that's the front brake, this is the...
Those are the gears,
Okay.
and the rear brake's on the other foot peg.
Oh, right. Okay.
So yeah, this one's the rear brake.
Okay.
On these bikes, you don't use them too much. Normally on left-handers only, because then the rear brake will be on the outside foot. However, when it's on the inside, it's really difficult to use the rear brake when you're fully leant over.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But we just use it to turn the bike. So basically what I mean by that is the front brake you use initially to stop the bike, and then just before you accelerate, just turn the bike. If you tap the rear brake, what it'll do is basically just squash the bike to turn, and then I'm turning.
Could that have been what I was seeing at the final
That's
turn?
just
That
that's
is
just tight
right.
using grip.
Right. Okay.
It's difficult to use. It's definitely something difficult to master,
Yep.
which I definitely have not at the moment.
Right.
But it's very useful as well, because if you're running wide, if you just put on the rear brake, it's safer than just grabbing more front brake and then losing the front, you know.
Right. Okay.
But for the fast corners, so the turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the fast left-hander, on these bikes you wouldn't be able to do a full gas normally, but if you go full gas and then put on the rear brake, effectively it'll just slow the bike down a little bit, but you can keep full throttle.
Okay.
That's basically its main use on this circuit. I only ever use it once, really. But normally it's to turn the bike mid-corner.
Okay.
So this, at the end of this session, my data technician will take this out and put it to the computer, and this basically just stores all the data from my session that we just did.
Okay.
All the sensors are connected to like a central hub under the seat.
Okay.
I don't know if you can't really see. You can see a bunch of cables in there.
Okay.
I might be able to get my data technician to take the seat off if you like.
Oh, that's all right.
You sure? Yeah, okay. But so they're all connected in there, and they all go to various places. So I've got front brake sensor, I've got throttle sensor, obviously rear brake, both suspensions. I've got a front wheel speed sensor, which again, do you know which one? Where's the front? I don't know where any of the sensors are because they're all just hidden away.
Just there.
This is that one, the front wheel speed sensor. Which is better than GPS because normally GPS speed is really bad.
I saw the suspension one. And then this is a...
That's my transponder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So maybe we'll go and have a quick look at a laptop next and see what the data looks like.
Yeah, maybe not from qualifying, but from my sessions yesterday, maybe. Yeah, for sure.
Very good.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the this series and the other series that you compete in.
So this series is the British Talent Cup series. So obviously mostly based in England, apart from one round this year in Assen, the Netherlands.
Okay.
Random, but sure. And my Spanish championship is the European Talent Cup. So it's the next step up from this championship. However, I race in both.
Okay.
They both use the same model of bikes, but there's a couple differences. Mainly the exhaust in the European bikes is different. So it's a faster exhaust basically.
Okay.
So the European bikes will be maybe 135 mile an hour.
Okay.
I think, and then here you get like 120, 125. So it's about 10 mile an hour difference.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, apart from that, here we use Dunlop tyres.
Okay.
And in Europe we use Pirelli tyres.
Right.
Pirelli tyres definitely are much better grip-wise. However, they run out within like 2 laps.
Okay.
Especially when it's hot. They have insane grip, but it doesn't last for long. Right. So you'll get one race and then the tyres will be destroyed.
Okay.
With the Dunlops, you could do one race and then use it for a practice session. Right. If that makes sense.
Okay.
But Dunlop, the grip on Dunlops are just as good, but Pirelli give much more feedback. So what I found with Dunlop and Bridgestone, which is what I used to ride on, with the front, it wouldn't really give you a warning. The front would just sort of fall and crash.
Okay.
And the same with the rear. But with the Pirellis, it either gives you chatter on the front, so it would be like, the front will give you chatter, and on the rear, it just slides around a bit more. Right. Which is better because you could sort of play with the slide, if that makes sense. So you can sort of feel where the limit is without going past it.
Yep.
And my livery is different. That's about it. Here I run under Halo Racing. The fairing's down on the bike at the moment, but we'll get shots of that later.
Yep.
And then in Spain I race for a team called Illusion Racing.
Okay.
Which is a fully, I shouldn't say Spanish, Catalan team.
Okay.
We don't want to call them Spanish because they will be mad at me. And yeah, definitely different setup. In Spain, we have like the garages, and it's like a full professional box setup. And here, obviously, we're running under a tent, but it's nice to not be so professional at the same time. So we've got all the setup; it all looks nice, but sometimes in the European, it's just so professional. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, to be fair.
I think
it's just nice to be more. There's not really as much pressure here. It's more everyone's like a community, sort of
grassroots.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Whether in Spain your team is your team, and then that's it. Whether here everyone talks with each other, you're friends with everyone. Whether in Europe you don't really know anyone else in the paddock apart from your own team.
Right.
So that's one good thing about here. It's more like that.
Very good. And
yeah.
of course, Thruxton is limited in terms of garage facilities. So I think
Yeah.
lots of series that come here often have a temporary awning set up.
Yeah. Well, that's mainly because there's so many categories here in BSB.
Yes.
There's, I don't know how many, but there's a fair load. And in my European Championship, there's only 3 categories.
Right.
The European Talent Cup, Junior GP, which is the Moto3 bikes, and then Moto2. So with that, everyone gets a garage.
Yep.
Depends. It depends on how many garages there are. So sometimes we get half a garage or a full garage. It just depends on how many there are.
Yep.
But yeah.
Very good.
You started your MSP to help business owners master technology. Isn't it time you were rewarded for that? MSP Finance Team helps hard-working MSP owners finally get the profit, time, and control they deserve. With better financial and strategic insight, you can make better decisions, leading to more control, profit, and time. Our approach is unique. We focus exclusively on MSP businesses, and we meld bookkeeping, CFO as a service, accounting, and mentoring to help you get started, scale, or sell. We bring you the freedom to focus on what's important, whether it's growing your business strategically or enjoying spontaneous moments with your family. So visit mspfinanceteam.com today and take the first step towards financial mastery. Because when it comes to your MSP finances, it's not just business, it's a numbers game.